Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Rogers' afternoon clay class. Today we're going to work on these cylinders that we created. In the last video, I took the top of the cylinder, I leveled it out, and I thinned out the rim, and I smoothed it really nicely to make it a nice drinkable rim. Now I'm going to get rid of some of this unevenness and some of this evidence of coil construction a little bit more. My cup it was in the Goldilocks zone there for a while, where it's not too soft, not too hard, but it's starting to stiffen up a bit. So I just put a little bit of water on it. Don't go crazy if it gets a little stiff, and let that absorb in there for a second. And I need some tools to do this. I have a serrated rib here and here, and I'm going to use this tool, and I also have this tool here. This is like a cheese grater, and it's called a Shore form, and it's also called a rasp in some circles, and I have these in the classroom at your disposal. But I didn't send them home because I don't have enough of these. So these tools, I'm going to start shaping this cup a little nicer and giving it some form, besides just this straight shot cylinder. So this tool you sort of hold like that, and you start removing material like that, and it comes off in these shards here. See, it gets kind of sticky here, like that, and you're going to end up with mass quantities of the sharding. And this is a really quick and efficient method of smoothing out the sides. Now, if you don't have access to this cheese grater looking tool, this is also accomplished with your rib with teeth. This guy here, I bent mine so I could use it a little easier on the inside of the cup earlier, and I could just start removing material like this. And then once you have the material away that you want, you come back at it with your smooth rib. And you can blend those lines away. And if you wanted to be even more aggressive with removing material, just gotta be careful not to put a hole in it or make the walls too thin. You could use your loop trimmer to remove material. This is very efficient. And we made this cup with coils that were about the same width as a pencil. And then we flattened those coils out and started stacking them up. And that gave us a nice thick wall to work with, so we could shape the cup up later. You don't want to leave the cup that thick. You make it that thick so you have lots of wiggle room later on to really affect your form. And do any kind of carving that you would want to do. All right, that looks pretty fantastic, in my opinion. I kind of like that texture too. And the cup has a little bit of shape now. So you can see how quickly that loop trimmer can remove material. Then you gotta get the material out of your way, or it'll stick to your pot whenever you put it down. All right, now I'm gonna make this bottom not so sharp and gross. There's like a 90-degree angle here. So I'll take my loop trimmer and just roll my cup and carve a nice bevel into the bottom edge. And I did leave this clay pretty thick at the bottom, so there is definitely some material that you can take away here to give it a nice beveled bottom lip. And I use this area of the cup as a glaze break. A glaze break is where you stop glazing. So I'm kind of creating a little line right here. And I will stop glazing here and leave this bare clay. And it gives me a spot to grab onto the bottom of the pot as well. All right, so that sharp edge is gone. No, well, the sharp edge is almost gone. That 90-degree angle is gone. So now I will smooth out all the sharp angles from all the cutting I was doing. All right, just use the pad of my finger to smooth all that out. And I will start removing a little bit more material here. Make that transition a little smoother. At this point, I've completely hidden the construction technique. Just about, almost completely. Still a couple areas that are showing that coil texture just a bit. All right, when I started this cup, it looked pretty rough. Now it looks very consistent, has a very nice surface treatment. It's lighter. The bottom is smooth, no sharp edges. The top is smooth, no sharp edges. And inside doesn't look too bad. I could take a sponge to the inside. It's not too wet. And smooth it out a bit. Smoothing and blending. Now the inside looks a little bit better. I'll get a sponge on a stick and I'll go in there and smooth that out a little bit better. Go grab them. So this is a sponge on a stick, and it's about 12, 13 inches long. it can reach in that pot for me. So I can no longer get my hand in there. And I can blend it and smooth the inside bottom. Get rid of any chunks of clay in there. All right, this cup now is ready for lots of different things. So if you were going to continue building on this pot, you could put a handle on it. Now would be the time to do that. If it was done, if you hit all the parts of the rubric, you can just put your name on it and call it done. If you were going to sculpt on it, there we go. Now would be the time to do your sculpting. It's right in the Goldilocks zone. Or if it was just going to be a tumbler, then I would just let it dry, as is. All right, thanks for watching me clean this cup up, making it pretty. Next video, we'll be sculpting on the cup.